Afternoon. Good.
So often we begin these with any update on Vita Vea at this time.
Yeah, he's got an MCL sprain, grade 2. Right now he's day-to-day, but not ruled out.
Any other injuries to speak of, guys, that were dinged up yesterday that would be?
Not at the moment, no.
If they're looking at the tape, how would you say the tackling overall was by the defense, especially later in that game as the Lions tried to tie it up?
For the most part, I thought it wasn't bad. You know, the yak yards were down. They got some, but they didn't get as much as they got last year. You know, it was pretty much catching and getting them on the ground. There was a lot of guys rallying to the football.
Todd, from a field position standpoint, I think they were in 33 plays inside your 30-yard line. So it's remarkable to have that much and only have 16 points on the board. Is there something you point to for what allowed, I mean, you talk about bending and not breaking, but what allowed your defense to kind of have their backs against the wall for so much of that game and still win?
When you're in it, you don't look at it as that. You look at it as you need to stop. So those guys, you know, led by Levante, they had great leadership out there. All of them were trying to make plays. They understood what they were seeing, and they were going up after it and making some plays. So keeping them out of the end zone was important.
How proud were you when Vita went down? You already had the injuries. You're playing a good team in a hostile environment, and being able to have guys come in, playing a lot of snaps and getting it done.
Well, you make this team for a reason. You know, we keep you, and you do things that we know you're comfortable doing. We try to put you in those situations, and a lot of guys stepped up.
What do you say about the play that Christian is in at safety? You know, obviously, came in front of Winfield Jr., had a pick in that game, made some good plays.
No, Izzy's a baller. You know, we knew that last year when we got him. No matter where you put him, if you put him in a game, you're going to see him, and he's going to flash, and he's going to make some tackles, and he's going to make a play.
He was sick, so there was a possibility that he didn't know whether he was going to be playing nickel or safety. So how did he handle that sort of indecision?
I thought he played well. He played nickel for us. You know, he played a bunch of snaps, almost 60 snaps as well. We call it the Michael Jordan flu game for him, and he had a bunch of tackles. He made a bunch of plays. I'm sure they're too young to understand that. But, you know, I'll break it down to him at another standpoint. But I thought he played well.
Talk with these young DBs, the two things you bring up most often are smarts and versatility, and you don't necessarily want to need those things, but it seems like that's what's come forward with these guys and how well they've handled these first two games.
They haven't. Didn't want to expect to use it that early, but, you know, we practice it. We practice it in the spring. We practiced it in the summer, and they're comfortable out there in their roles, whichever they have to play, and they came through.
What are we watching with Zion McCollum before our eyes? Because, you know, when he first came, he was came to Houston State and just a great athlete, not a great tackler, and you know now it seems like his whole game is rounded into something really special.
Zion's a very good corner. Coach Ross does a great job with him. The mental part of the game has slowed down for him. He understands where his help is. He understands what he's seeing. He's a heck of an athlete. He wants to get better. He's out there every day before warm-up trying to get better and work on things, and it's all coming together for him, and we think he's a heck of a player.
What do you think of Jamel Dean's ability to bounce back after the big play to Williams earlier in the game?
Oh, it was great. They got us on a quick snap on the first play of the game, so he was out of position a little bit, but he made the tackle and made the play, and the ball didn't go over his head after that. He made some very good tackles on the perimeter for us.
Is it hard for guys to keep their poise? I mean, they're down, you know, looking to try to score a go-ahead touchdown late in the game, not once but twice. Did those guys stay assignment, you know, ready and you know, because panic is a word that's used sometimes in those situations, but nobody seemed to be, you know, the least bit out of sorts at all about that.
Got some good leaders over there. Like I said, Levante, KJ led, Golston was over there, Yaya as well, Jordan. And those guys, they were determined because we didn't play well in 2 minutes last week against Washington when we gave up a touchdown in the waning moments. So we harped on that all this week. They understood the assignment, and we closed out the game.
What did you see in the run game from the offense yesterday?
It was tough sledding. That's a good defense over there. They made life tough for us. The safeties came down fast and filled some holes. We got to do a better job of working around that and getting some positive plays.
Of the four guys you had out yesterday, Gedeke and Cansey and now by Hayes and
Winfield.
Thank you, Winfield.
Oh.
Which of those four would you say are reasonably in play to play this week?
Too early to tell right now. I'll know more on Wednesday about them.
It was Liam Cohen's second game as offensive coordinator. How do you think he did, and how would you analyze his performance, also given that he was shorthanded with Luke Genicke out?
I thought he did some good things. You know, we made some plays. We could like to finish out and close out the drive at the end of the game as we grow as an offense, but we had our chances to make some plays. We made some, and they made some. You know, we made some key plays that counted. Every game is not going to be smooth, and you're not going to be clicking on all cylinders, and you got to grind out some games and play the game the smart way, and I thought he did a good job.
You don't want many games where the offense has more than 80 snaps. I mean, that's just a ton. So is the youth of that group able to sustain that, where just so many players were able to go in and out? How were you able to, stay on the field that long as a defense?
Well, we didn't look at it as that. We were caught in the moment just trying to win the ball game. We didn't look at it from a play count standpoint. After the game, you look at it and say that's a lot of plays, but those guys are willing to do whatever it takes to win. So you don't want to make it like that, but early in the year you have some games like that. Just glad we won.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Thanks.